We can have it all. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. We can have it all. Oh, 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 oh. We can have it all. Oh, 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 oh. We can have it. We may have lost it all. We can have it back, you just got to call. Let's call truce and stop the brawls. Cause this ain't something that I want at all. I'm trying to learn what you want. Cause you changed when you told me to do one. Where the real you gone? I thought you returned, but you're taking too long. Still I pray that you will. It's kinda hard not to see how you feel. Cause there's anger in all you do still. So I don't feel like, oh, that's too real. It's too fresh to know. If you're angry or really wanna let me go. So my love, I let it show. And I have too late, you know. I see you and I. We can have the earth, the stars, the sun, the moon and sky. We can have it all. We can have it all. I could give it to you. All you gotta do is call. We can have it. Oh, 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 oh. We can have it all. Oh, 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 oh. We can have it all. We can have it all. I could give it to you. All you gotta do is call. We can have it. It could all soon be ours. The earth and the moon and stars. The house and the kids, the car. Holidays out doing it.
Yo. Welcome back to another quality over quarantine. We're stuck in, it's still locked down, but we're still trying to give you lot the goods in it, man. Let you know we're out here working hard. Still putting in the work, man. So I'm just not even gonna long it out, man. I'm gonna introduce the one and only Novar. Hold on, wait. You can tell I'm not used to doing this properly. I want to get the claps in. All right. Where my claps at? Here we go. Yes. How you doing, bro?
Bless family, just here, man.
Yeah. How you find it? Ask everyone this question, man. How you been finding the lockdown? How's it been for you? How's it been for your family? Everyone's safe and all that?
Yeah, everyone's safe, man. Everyone's good. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, brother, I stay in my yard anyway. Like, I think a lot of us, like, I stay in my yard. I work from home.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In pretty much all my work is mostly from home, other than going out for meetings or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I think now we're doing meetings like this.
Yeah.
And I think to a degree that a lot of businesses are kind of realizing, like, this kind of work. Even though people like to have the like get together thing, it's like, I don't need to pay my no travel. Like, let's just do it like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool, man. Other than that, family is blessed. Like, I'm still allowed to have my daughter over and go see her because I think that's something the government included in their whole situation. Yeah. And she just lives around the corner, so
nice.
I'm nice.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool, man. I think this is gonna be for a long time the new normal, and it's funny because I was thinking the other day, like, everyone's getting real creative, and everybody's doing things. It's so funny. Like when we first went into lockdown, you saw the meme saying, "This is proof that you could have worked from home the whole time."
Yeah.
It's jokes as well because a lot of companies that I work with, we work from home the majority of the time, innit? And it's so funny. It's like there's so many people that work from home and like, oh, you're so lucky to work from home, and it's like, well, you're doing it now as well, and you could have done it the whole time, but for some reason, I guess employers feel like you're more productive when they can keep their eye on you or something. I don't know what it is, but it's a strange situation, man. It's a strange situation.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, you know, what kind of permanent or how, if things adapt and change slightly after this, you know.
Because I'm like you as well. Like me, I barely leave the house anyway. I'm a person who I'm just be chilling, man. And I had a little conversation earlier on Twitter, and she was saying, yeah, like I'm secretly loving this, and I was like, do you know what? If it wasn't for the fact that I can't go out to set, like, if I could go to the gym and go shops and get whatever I wanted, I'd be fine, man. But it's just
true, man. There is something about it that's demotivating to me. I think I said it to you before.
Yeah.
I don't go gym, like, but I do work out at home. I go on and off, like, but I go
Yeah.
through periods where I'm training at home and I got a good routine.
Yeah.
Like, you think this would be the perfect time to just lock in with
Lock
that,
in.
but I'm not doing it. Like, I'm eating bad, and I'm just saying, like, there's a couple
Same.
things it's fucking up still.
I see you got the pull-up bar in the background. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even. I want to get one. Yeah, my wife's like, nah, man, you'll drag the house down. Like, you're too big. I'm like, come on, man. That's one thing I'm missing. I'm missing pull-ups, man. Like, I'm missing.
I remember you and Terra somewhere. We was doing a show out of town somewhere, and there was a scaffolding. And you, man, just saw the scaffolding. And was like, "Yo, come!" Yeah,
I remember that. Do you know where that was? It's Wolverhampton.
There you go.
It's Wolverhampton. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Trickster's thing. I think that might be
that's one of my things, man. Everyone knows. Wherever you find me, I remember my cousin's wedding. They had it outside. And I just see a little pull-up bar around the side. I'm like, whoa, I'm with my suit on. Just bust a quick 20, you know what I mean? Like, I used to love them. But yeah, it was all a dream. It's all gone now, man. It's like I have to figure out of how to stay in shape and again stay motivated as well. How have you been finding motivation as far as music at this time?
You know what? It's weird. Like, you know me. Like, I make a lot of music and stuff. You know, my output is usually quite regular, but I think in general, anyway, I've kind of stopped making as much music the last couple of years. So, like, before this lockdown, I probably hadn't recorded much music for a while, and then since it's come, I haven't done loads either, but I've done a bit more. It's made me go, cool. Like, what's going on with let me pull up these things that I was sitting on and rewatch them, and like, let me get a couple projects I was planning.
Yeah.
Actually, I just realized I'm completely lying, because about a month before this, I recorded 4 songs. But that was my comeback of recording had just started.
See.
I was recording them 4 songs. I was kind of like not feeling the recordings as much as previous. You know what I'm saying? But as much as I usually am, I think like, I need to work on those more. I need to, but yeah, I'm trying to, within this time, lock down them 2 projects and have them finished.
Yeah, I've been the same really. Like, obviously I had the album already finished.
Yeah.
Had a little chat actually last night with Orifice Volgatron.
Yeah, man.
He was saying to me, he's like, "Yo, what's going on with your project?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm just sitting on it because I don't know what to do." And he was just like, "Nah, man, just bust it, man." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, you know, you're right, man." So I've like literally today, I just decided, okay, cool. July, it'll probably be a lot of stuff will be different by July anyway. So I thought, let me just get things in place, and then that could be the new thing. I've already got I put out an EP like the first week of lockdown. I did it the first day of lockdown, literally.
I see. Quick things.
Yeah, man. Like, I was just like, because I was just literally, I was hyping it. I was like, it was like when lockdown first started.
Was it like a couple of songs you had been sitting on?
Nope.
Or
no.
You like ordered them straight away.
Do you know what happened? So when it was kicking off, I did this thing called the Roni rap, yeah. And so I had an idea of so you know how I make music. I just make the beat, then I come on. I don't write lyrics down. I just start spitting, yeah.
Yeah, same.
So I had the idea, I want to do a coronavirus rap. So I've come home.
So you did that, and I see that when in
but I made what I'd done, because I had the idea, but I didn't have any beats for it. So what I'd done is I made like 5 beats before I was going to work, because we weren't even locked down yet. I was going to work. So I had half an hour, and I made 5 beats in half an hour. Went to work, come back, decided I didn't like any of them. And then chose an old beat. So the beat I actually spec that Roni rap on was a proper old beat that I'd actually done for Pac-Man. Literally, I think I did it in 2017 for Pac-Man. And he didn't use it. So I was like, let me take that. So I rapped on that. So then I was sitting on these 5 beats. So I was like, do you know what? Let me just bust an EP on them. So those 5 beats were the ones I weren't using for that. So I just made a quick thing. Like, it was just in the moment, man.
Well, that's the work rate, man. Because I'm like, I want to be like that. But then I end up making something and just sitting on it and trying to perfect it. I'll make the recording part mad quick as well. I won't re-record vocals most of the time. I'll just bang something out, turn the mic on, don't write it down the same way. But then I'll just, like, you see what I did with Damage, like, I announced. So now this time I haven't been announcing these things too much. Like, 'cause I've got 2 projects.
Yeah.
I haven't, and actually, I realized part of why I probably don't like, I'm not so comfortable with this brand new one, is that I did write it down for the first time in ages. Because I don't know, for some reason, I started writing, because I wasn't rushing to record. I wasn't in that mode where I'm ready to record, so I just wrote it down. So I think now it's a case where I do need to revoke, or I need to go, just saying, and do it a bit more comfortable. But and the other project is like straight after Damaged, I started working on a project called Better, which was like the follow-up from it, from where I was at when I was coming out of that kind of dark space and with that project. And I made like a 10-track album like ages ago, but there were some of the songs are unfinished. They got like one verse here and there, needs a feature here, etc., etc. So I kind of looked back at it the other day and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take 7 of these songs, and that's adult songs, but it is just like, it is that project. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it is like a follow up to that project, and I just have to just smash it out like I did with that one, to get on to the next one.
So let's kind of go back a little bit then, Let's go. Actually, you know what? Nah, I don't want to go to Damage yet. Actually, I want to do some Nova history.
All right.
So the first time I think I saw you.
Let me get my tea. I got my little tea.
I got my tea as well, man. I got iced tea. I don't want to show. Actually, no, wait. I can show the cup. They did sponsor this. So yeah, they sponsored me before. So I bought powders.
Green tea. I'm always with the green tea in a glass cup.
Sid.
So grand.
I got in a shake. I got iced tea. I got I think it's chamomile and honey, with extra honey thrown in, because I'm just that's how reckless I am right now. So I think it was Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And I'd seen you before, like obviously on the Mud Fam artwork and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, actually, I'm lying, man. I saw you even before. It was before Kung Fu, or around that time, but it was at a show in Vauxhall. I think it was Vauxhall.
That would have been Vauxhall.
Yeah, it was like, but round the corner, it was like, it weren't like in the main part. It was like round the corner, down some street or something. And I remember meeting Tibbs for the first time, and I didn't like Tibbs when I first met him, because he was like mad cocky. I can't remember. There was something that happened,
Hey, Tibbs. No, other people told me that. Tibbs. But Tibbs, man, just moving like, we're doing this thing.
Yeah. Because I feel like people like who know Tibbs now, he's a totally different person, innit?
Yeah. So my brother,
But back then, I think, bearing in mind, I wasn't even really, I was rapping, but I wasn't like no name or nothing.
Yeah.
And the show was Mud Fam, it was Out the Ville, and Moorish Delta.
Wow.
It was a mad show. It was nuts, man.
That's like the three, like when I first come in, that's like the 3 biggest groups, and I'll add 57th Dynasty to that list. If they was there, that would have been everywhere. Like,
they might even have been in the building. I don't even remember, but it was crazy. And I remember Tibbs. Like, my memory's kind of bad anyway, but I remember Tibbs, like, he just rubbed me the wrong way, but it weren't like he did anything wrong. It was again, it's like attitudes, innit? Like, that's man thinking he's a big man, like, you know what I mean? Like, but he was just mad cocky, Like, his swag was so hard, like his swag was just raw, and I think you were there as well, but I don't even think you performed. No. But I know you were there, but the first time I saw you perform was Kung Fu with Mosley.
What?
Was it Mosley? Yeah.
Don't mention that name. Still,
bro. It was with redacted.
One of the most redacted people, like people from Islington know. You know what I'm saying? Because but it just goes to show, like, again, so much has happened in that time, innit? So take me back. What was it like coming up with Mud Fam at that time? How old were you then? How old was I then? Like, I first started rolling with Mud Fam, like, I was like 15, 16. Right. So that might have been a year later, so I was no older than 17, I guess, at that time. It was mad, bro. Like my journey of music. People think it starts with Mud Fam, which it kind of does in like in the public kind of sphere. Music for me started at school, I guess, or at school age, and it was me, Big Ben, and Akala were like the rappers in the school. And then I don't think really we knew much British hip hop. Like we were all just suddenly we used to come into school and they started showing little British videos on Yo on MTV Base and all of that. And we started seeing like 57th Dynasty and Moorish Delta 7. And even Wolftown Committee had a video on there as well and being like, rah, there is this British rap thing going on. But even before that, I heard Mud Family because I remember there was 2 records out that they had, which was just Skinny, Chester, and Mongo. 2 EPs. And I heard those. That was the first British hip hop I ever heard. And I was like, oh, these men are from my borough and that. And I was like, right, these guys are sick. So like, I just became a thing like where I was just like, right, we can actually do rap. And you know, put out records and stuff. So I was like, I started to idolize them guys. Like I just want to be like them guys.
Yeah.
You know, rather than like the American stuff that I was listening to before, because there was really no idea that we could ever be like them or on their level. So like it's mad that I set out my kind of state that I want to be like them guys and respected like them guys and in this UK hip hop scene that I discovered. And within a year, I was a member of that specific group. Like it mind blows. It's a mind blowing just to even think back at it.
Yeah.
Like, I had that goal. Like, yeah, I just want to be equal to them. And then I was like, yo, I am them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what? But I like that when you say that because it's so funny, yeah. Because obviously I did the show last week with Cypher, and I was saying the same thing to him. Like when I first heard Feel Life Cypher, I was like, I just want to be the next member of Feel Life Cypher, and he was like, right, you should have said, man, we would have probably put you on. Like, but like that phrase you just said, yeah, I am them. So many times in the last couple of years, there were people when I came into this game that I used to look up to, like Fallacy, like Black Twang, that it got to a point where when I'm like, I'll be on the phone with them or talking to them, I'm like, rah, I made it. Like that's what I wanted to do. All I wanted to do, yeah, was be in a level where I had the people I looked up to say, nah, you're hard still. That was it. Everything else was a bonus.
And then and there was no really popping from them. So back then, like we done it, innit? Like you done everything that you could possibly do. Like so, to me, in that, like in becoming part of that crew, touring the country, putting out a record with them, like to be honest, like I went and going on Tim Westwood's show, like that's things crazy. like I was done. You know what I'm saying? I was done. I've done everything I aimed to do and more by 2002. I was done. Like I didn't need to rap again after 2002. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. And I would like not to be gassed or whatever, but I feel like in 2000, between that period 2002 whatever, Mud Family, like I don't think there was much bigger than us. Like we was the thing like, in UK hip hop. So we've been the top. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like so that's it. And after that, like and. You know, all these years later, I'm actually like kind of proud that I'm still here.
Yeah.
And also proud that actually, because so many generations have passed, that now people know me for me a bit more. Like I think now, because if someone asks me now, that people who talk about anything I'm doing, they don't even mention my family. And of course, I'm so proud of being a part of something with so much like legendary roots. But there's also an element of you're just. You're just popping because you're part of that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
100%. I get that.
So it's like now I'm like, no one can say that to me.
Nah, you stood on your own.
Yeah.
But I think even so, the first time we did a track was for my album.
Yeah.
And I remember as well, yeah, it's so funny because that day sticks in my mind. So there's even some little video of it online.
Is it?
Yeah, like a little bit, because we took a photo outside the yard.
Oh, I know there's a photo that I've seen.
But there's a video of us taking that photo. So what had happened is the label I was with at the time, they were like, who do you want to do tracks with, whatever. And I just said, yeah, Kalashnikov Skinny, man. That's what I wanted. That was what I wanted. And so the day we're gonna record the track, it was a mad one as well, because it was like, I don't think we got to your side till like 2 a.m. or something crazy. or if it
Well, you
or
came to our sides to pick us up or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, but we didn't know though. We didn't know who was gonna be there, innit? So
Yeah.
it was. I think Answer was driving. It was me, Answer, Weller. On the way there, we get pulled over by feds. They take they take Tom's weed off him, and like go, all right, listen, you either got a choice. Either we take you in, or you do like I think it was like do 50 press ups. So he does 50 press ups in the middle of like Holloway Road. Yeah.
Hey, mugging you, bro.
It was nuts.
FCP, man.
It was crazy. Then we get to you guys, and we're just expecting Skinny to be there.
Yeah.
But basically, there was a whole bunch of you lot. And so you came down, NASA came down.
And Redacted.
He might have been there. Yeah, Redacted might have been there still. He might have been there. I don't remember him, but he might have been there.
Still.
But I was so gassed because I was just like, this track just went from like a Skinny Man track to a Mud Fam track. And came back to Harrow, did the track. I'd worked the next day. I was still working at Virgin Megastore.
Sick.
I think everyone must have done their verses. And then Skinny Man took forever to do his verse. Yeah, he was like on some perfectionist. I remember falling asleep, waking up, and he was still spitting his verse.
Hey, his verse on that hard though.
Crazy.
It's hard. Like it's one of his maddest feature like verses. That verse is not
sick. But it was just like that around that time. It was. I was just so gassed. And I remember, the girl I was with at the time. I remember telling her, yeah, like got a track with Mad Fam. She was like, what? Like, they're the people you're always talking. Like, she wasn't even into hip hop or nothing, but she was like, you're always talking about those guys, and I was just like, yeah, like it's a mad thing. So
I know in the timeline where that is because that was my 19th birthday. I always remember that.
See, that's crazy.
And that's why I say birthday boy at the beginning. I'm like my verse opens fresh trim because I don't know, like Skinny must have had like you know, he obviously arranged he was going to come studio and do the song with you guys. He had the beat already. So I think early that morning, like I linked Skinny anyway. We're doing our thing like on the other side of the life. So we're in one little spot. Bro, you know what? We was in the uni halls on Holloway Road of the whatever that university on Holloway.
Yeah.
Uni halls like kind of on the corner of Seven Sisters on Holloway Road.
Yeah.
We had kind of moved in to this guy's uni halls thing, and he had like this little hall, like one dude who NASA used to know. He had his room, and he's one of them things where it's like, there's 4 rooms,
right.
He's got one, and the rest of them just 3 girls. I like we just kind of used to just set up shop in places like that. We were just in his thing, and we set up shop. So I've just gone there in the morning, like yeah. Time for business, like I'm in my office, and Skinny was like, I'm going to studio later.
See.
He's like, and like Skinny just, he's one of them guys just brings people into things. So he's got this, he's sitting there, he's like, I got to write my verse. So he's got his pen and paper and he's writing his verse, and he's like, yeah, write your verse. Like as if just like, we're doing a thing later.
See.
Alright, cool. I'm sitting there writing my verse. Actually, I skipped part of the story because obviously I went and got a trim before that. I linked Skinny. That morning, Skinny was like, yo, come check me, because he knew it was my birthday. He's like, yo, come meet me on Holloway Road. Boom, boom. And he sent me like where to meet him. I'm about to say he sent me his location. We definitely didn't have that.
Not yet.
He took me to one barber he used to use, and I got a trim, and then we were sitting down writing a thing. And he actually ghostwrote that line, because he just said to me, yo, birthday boy with a fresh trim. That's how you should open your. I'm like, alright, cool, so I just wrote it down, and then obviously all the rest of it, I just.
That's crazy, bro.
Well, the mad thing is, my whole verse on that is about smoking weed, and I haven't smoked weed for like 15 years.
What's funny as well, what I've noticed as well, a lot of time when I hear stories about Skinny, and I've seen it as well, I've seen it with Chester, that whole thing of like bringing in who's around you, with no like no ego, just like, because at the end of the day, if you think of that, someone puts you on a track, or someone's saying, this track is for you, and this isn't, a lot of people don't know, this isn't like how it is now. So when you are on a track, especially something that's going to be released, it's going to be something big. it's definitely gonna be. It was a look. It was definitely a look.
Yeah.
So for him to just be like, yeah, man, jump on, like that. Just I feel like that kind of shows character, and I've seen it a lot with
Right.
like your crew.
A lot of men don't do it. There's a lot of men from his generation that don't do that. Yeah, that didn't, and I feel like it's kind of held up the development of our world and hip hop in the UK. But Skinny was just one of them guys that just always did that, and he did it for me before he heard me rap to a degree. Like, because I knew NASA from primary school. That was my link to becoming with Steph. And I bumped into NASA on Holloway Road and was like, yo, talking to him about I'm doing music, and then he was like, oh, I'm part of Mud Family and all of that. And that's the same time when I was already listening to rap. I was like, what? Well, you're not on the. And he's like, yeah, but we're doing this thing. And then I went to link NASA and give him a cassette tape, and I saw Skinny on Holloway Road. And I'd just come from NASA's yard, and he wasn't home. I'm knocking for man, and his sister was like, yeah, it's not him. So gave Skinny that tape, like, yo, can you give this to NASA for me later? And straight away there and then he went, yo, I got a radio show. Come on my radio show. Yeah, so, and then like I called him and boom, I was like, oh, did you give NASA the tape and like the radio show? Let's do that. And he was like, no, I didn't give it to him. Like, I've been bumping it in my car all week, and he bust the lyrics from it to me and all of that. So, he did listen to man before we actually did it, but he was just to show that love. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, I can never forget that still. You know what I mean? So
let's move forward a little bit. So, there was a time when I kind of ducked out the game a little bit. I felt like Mud Fam kind of went a bit quieter, and then all of a sudden, I see you pop up on Channel U.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I got it's right in my mind, but it was almost like, oh, Nova's on the solo team.
There was a bit of a hold up. I mean, the mad thing is, okay, I had a solo record out before the Mud Fam record. I had a solo.
Oh yes, I'm forgetting Kemet.
Yeah, so
right.
Who later put out Kalashnikov. Like, I was the first on Kemet. We put out a record. So I was just about it. Like, I was just like in the studio, like, raw. As soon as the Mud Fam situation, we're in the studio recording stuff. I think maybe the Mud Fam EP had been recorded before my record, but my one came out first. I got offered a record deal, and I'm in the next studio, and like that weren't a time when I was able to record at home. So it's anytime I'm getting near a studio, I'm like, yo, cool. Like, let me go. So after the Mud Fam recordings, it was DJ Flip who used to manage us, and whose studio we used to use for those. I just started going to check him, like, yo, let me record something. And it was me and Sincere, who were the two people to record solo stuff. I would see Sincere there all the time, and he would be playing me 500 Sincere songs. Like, I felt like he was on the next thing. And so I had the solo record out. And then I think, the Skinny Man album came out 2004, right? So that Mud Fam EP came out 2002. There's a gap in between that where Skinny went away. And then he came out, he locked in the studio, made the album, that came out 2004. I kind of pulled away from that Mandem around that time and was just doing my own thing anyway in life. I would check in on that, but there was things going on just on the other side of life for all of us that was a lot to deal with, and especially me, how young I was at the time. Not especially some of us that was young at the time or whatever, but some mad stuff that I was just like, I can't really be around. I want to make music. I'm going studio. So I stayed recording with Flip. We made an album. Skinny put out his album, which was a huge success.
Yeah.
And then I think the natural thing for Flip was, because I was the guy there putting in the work. He was like, cool, really, my album should have been the follow-on, like, okay, the Skinny Man album's come out.
I see your guy.
His next member putting out a solo album. But because we weren't really so connected as a unit and doing it on a label and nothing, it wasn't like we weren't, like that wasn't really the case. And a few things fell apart in that time. But yeah, I had, I made a deal with Kemet again for that album at that time. They had put out Kalashnikov since I'd worked with them before. So they had built an infrastructure where they're ready. Like the Kalashnikov album came out that same year as Skinny's, and then
That's a big year.
they signed me 2005, I think, and then I worked on the album, and it eventually came out at the end of 2006. So there's a bit of a gap there, and yeah, I guess that was my biggest moment of, I'm here on my own, videos out. Channel U wasn't there before. Channel U kind of came out the same year as Skinny and Clash's albums, I guess, that time. So it's like YouTube wasn't really popping yet. So that was a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, man's on TV every day and shit. And then One Extra just launched. So man's getting played on the radio every day. And I fucked up because I didn't register none of my songs for till a year later or something.
Wow, all the PRS and all that business.
I still do it now, bro. I still forget, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I literally, do you know what's really deep? My album, Private Moments in Public, I literally registered that probably 6 months ago. It came out 2014.
I don't think I've done damage yet, and that's a piss take. It's a piss take to all the other producers that worked on it. Well, maybe they've registered them bits though. That's their duty too, innit? You know what I mean? But so I fucked up on that part on the business side there, and it was just a weird time. It was good because I'd done a lot of shows that year. I was on Primary Talent Agency at that time.
Sick.
I played Glastonbury. I've done a lot of shows. I had a proper label behind me at a time where that was more what you needed.
Yeah.
But the music industry then it's like that year, I think iTunes just came out as well. But no one really knew what it was. So it's like, what is this? And also file sharing and LimeWire.
Yeah, that was big.
So we got LimeWire, we got iTunes coming out as a thing to try and combat that.
Yeah.
No one had really worked that out yet. So my album, although it done great stuff for me, it didn't do what I'd intended, what I wanted and hoped for at that time. Because the whole, everything just shut that year. Everyone shut up shop.
Yeah.
The labels, Low Life shut, Commit shut, Kung Fu closed, HFM closed. Everything we had was the music's dead now because everyone's just file sharing and there's no career. There's not such sustainable careers possible this year. And then within a couple of years, we adapted to that. You know what I mean?
It's funny, man. There's two things I want to touch on. The first thing you said about you couldn't just... Studio used to be valuable.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a case of, you could just be wherever you would be. I remember when I first started kind of being a serious rapper, going all kinds of places, man. So when I first, after recording with Kawana, I was recording with Amos. So I was in Watford at the time. So I was going from Watford to Kilburn, whenever I could. Then we would go, he had another studio in Kingston. So we would go there, we would go, we would just travel, bare places.
Both ends,
Yeah, for real. We were all over the place. And I feel like people don't really understand anymore. They don't recognize how difficult it was. And I feel like sometimes we don't even appreciate how easy it is. And that's, I always say to young people, use your resources. Use your resources. The second thing I wanted to mention, that idea of the game shutting down, I swear, I really felt it because my album dropped in 2005.
Yeah, same time I was thinking that as well.
Yeah, so, and it was kind of I think part of the problem is two problems. The first problem was no money was getting made. Or the money was getting made weren't the same money you were getting on the road. So they would offer you shows, but you're not going to do the show because I can't do the show because I've got to be here and make money. So you were always trapped, and I never saw I kind of wish I did, but I didn't. I never saw the value until it was too late you know what? Forget the money, build the legacy. And so even it's funny, and so in 2006 I dropped my mixtape, and I was on the street selling that for 2 years. maybe even
Industrial
almost 3 years.
Revolution.
Industrial Revolution. I was selling that for like 3 years. So
I
in
played
that,
that recently, man. I
See.
found a CD and I was driving somewhere with someone like where we only had a CD player, so I was like, find some CDs there, and I found that, and I was like, yeah,
Rah.
classic, man.
It's crazy, but like in that 3 year that time period, I was making no new music because I didn't really have anywhere to record at the time anyway. I was like, I didn't have time, and I kind of fell out of love of writing anyway. So I was doing bits and pieces. I remember Trix used to call me up like on a weekly basis. Yo, Jenny, jump on the track, man.
Yeah, put a verse on this.
Yeah, and like so every now and then I give him a verse or something, but that was it really. Like Trix and Relate were the only people that are really checking for me at that time. But
Bro, same. That's so mad because the same. Like after the Kemet thing, the man, like Trickster came to me actually when Kemet died and was like, "Yo, let me give you an album deal and do your second album." And I said no.
See,
and like I wanted to say yes because out of everyone, it's him I would give, who I would trust and who I know like cared and loved what I was doing. But I just felt like, I've been with all these labels, let me do it on my own.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do it on my own. Yeah. So I sometimes look back and go, I should have done that Trickster album still. But anyway.
Yeah, we should have, like, it was a lot of things. And I always, and even to this day, I've always been that kind of person. When Trickster says, or Late say, yo, do something, can you do this? I'm always saying, yeah. Because I remember the time where no one else was really checking for me like that. And they were always there. And when I came back into the scene, so like 2009, 2010, it's so funny, because like R.I.P. Black the Ripper. When I first came into the scene, his name was popping,
Yeah.
And I remember it was like Black the Ripper, Dot Rotten, Wretch 32, and I'm like, who are these guys? And I remember, I think it was Kalashnikov must have showed me. It was either Wretch or Dot Rotten, one of their tracks or something. I was like, okay, yeah, they're all right still. But I always felt like in that gap that we kind of fell back, I felt like they just came in and just, not only did they take it over, but they did it right. Like they just did it at the right time. And I always feel like, man, I shouldn't have fallen back, because I feel like if I stayed on that level, then I would have came up with them. But at the same time, it's all about timing, man. And I found my own space where I'm comfortable, and I feel like you found your own space where you're comfortable. You're doing a lot of, your sound has changed a lot, the same way my sound changed a lot. And I feel like let's move on to Damaged, like, because that, it wasn't a surprise because I knew where you were going with it, but at the same time, listening to it was like, oh, okay, like this is something different. And I don't even think it's one of them ones. I feel like a lot of it went over a lot of people's heads.
And I kind of knew it was gonna, like, but some people, like the people that messaged me about that album, like, artists say this a lot anyway, like about the certain messages you'll get about how something has touched someone and saved someone's life and that kind of stuff. Like, but those messages have always meant the most. But this album, obviously, like, it makes sense, but it's the one I've got the maddest messages like that from people, where it's like, yo, I was going through something when that came out, and like that literally like held me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I felt everything you're saying, and like, so to me, it's like, I think it's the best thing I've made. Like, I don't like, I spent 2 years mixing and mastering it to make it sound great, because I thought, this is something special. And even though I know it's gonna go over people's heads, I'm just like, nah, because I recorded the whole thing in 5 weeks, all the vocals, like, where I was literally just depressed. You know what I'm saying? I was going through a mad depression, and it's hard to talk about the details of it, because there's a lot of personal stories to people involved in it. So there's certain things in that story that are not in the album, that, like, because it's a breakup album. That's the story. It's a relationship breakup album. 808 and heartbreak inspired. But so some people will hear it and think, like, this is just someone going through a breakup and the heartbreak of that, which is very real. And that's a very hurtful, painful thing. And people, most people have experienced that at some point. But it's actually like if people knew the full story, it's really like it's very deep and it's very fucked up. And I could never tell this full story, like I say, but I was just able to in that time put my emotions into music because at that point I just couldn't do anything else. I couldn't. I had other work that I do from home, like that. I just couldn't do. I just couldn't do shit. I was just sitting there like fuck, like raw. And then I just turned the mic on, and that's when I first think proper started like going through that process of just turn the mic on, put the beat on, record, and I just started making songs. And it wasn't meant to be a project. It was just like, oh, let me put out how I'm feeling. And I started fucking with autotune, obviously, which I tried to do once before. And like Bones had tried to tell me how to use it, and it just sounded so shit. And then I was like, I wrote this, started like writing this hook on this song, and I just hollered him again, like, yo, show me how to use that again, man. So like, break it down. Like, he broke it down, and it clicked, and I was like, all right, work. And I worked out how to do it, like, so I could hear it while I'm recording it. And I'm like, oh, and it was just, it was fun, even though it was painful, and and therapeutic. Yeah, it's a mad one, but yeah.
I think like you've been in this transition, like obviously you've transformed your life, but in doing that, you've also kind of transcended the place where you started. So we didn't even really touch on Flip, the group, really.
Yeah.
Like that to me, again, that was almost like there was a moment, man. At a moment. There was a moment there, and it felt very Dipset. I can't explain it, man. It was
there was a moment when we were all like active, innit? And it's probably in the mix of that. It's probably like around 2008 or something. It's probably somewhere off the back of when things started building on YouTube, because Regs and Ben started dropping stuff on UK Overstood regular when YouTube was building up. But the Flip thing goes way further back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because our Flip it was Flip the Script originally, and that's, like I said earlier, that was what we were doing at school, and it was me and Ben and a couple other man, and then Akala and Ben was in a separate group, and we used to battle each other. That's where it all kind of started for us, like that we had these kind of two groups in school, and Ben was the middleman of it all, like, and like Akala and then was kind of like, yeah, why are you in both groups? Like, leave them, kind of thing. Like, Ben was like, Ben was like, nah, that's my boy from way back. Like, and he was like, cool. Well, I want to battle them. We want to battle them there. You know what I'm saying? We had battles like in the music room, and we put posters up around the school, and we all we planned it out. I wish I had a recording of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So Flip the Script is the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So when I see, man, that tape, it was a Flip the Script tape, the first recordings we'd ever made, on a fucking, like, we recorded it on one of them, like, plastic, the microphone you just...
Yeah, the PC mic. The PC mic. Yeah. I did that as well, man.
Like, we recorded it with that, like, with backing vocals and everything.
No, that's nuts. This is how me and Terry used to record, yeah? So me and Terry, back in the day, right? So we would have the PC mic, and you have whatever your instrumental was on the CD, but we recorded into tape. So the thing is, you'd have to do the whole song in one take.
One take. I found that too long into I used to do that with the headphones. You put the headphones into the left thing. That's the first time I ever started rapping, because my brother came to my house and was like, yo, did you know if you plug this in here, and then he put in a tape and started recording, just started rapping. Yeah, my boy Turbulence. That's how Flip the Script started that day. Ben was at my house, so the three of us were there, and he just put on an instrumental from from something, a CD single, or might have even been a vinyl at the time. I had Beck somewhere in the process of all this, and he just started rapping, and we was like, raw. And then we just all started rapping. Like, there's a tape cassette somewhere. The first time I ever rapped, it was recorded on a tape somewhere.
That's crazy, man.
So that's the foundation. So when I joined Mud Family, before that, Flip the Script was like the support act for Mud Family. And then I was just around Skinny so much. I kind of rolled with them more for a period. Ben and Regs went away for a little period. healthy one, to be honest, at a certain period around there. And then they came back around 2008, and then man just started killing it, and I was putting stuff out as well. So we'd be on each other's projects. So I feel like that was kind of that moment. That's when I met Wordsmith as well. And he just became like family.
Yeah.
Like you were saying in your interview with him yesterday, like, you know, like family before music and all of that.
Yeah, man.
You know, me and him was living together for like a good year at that time, like, and we were just like, yeah, cool. So he just naturally, the flip thing was almost, always, and my family was the same. It always like naturally people just became a part of it because we're fam. You know what I'm saying? So like. And then I think around that time it was like Words was like, yo, Jen was like, bro, what, he's not flipped, man. And I was like, of course he's flipped.
I was gonna get a flip tattoo at one point, man. I was flipping the heart, man.
Of course,
like,
100%, bro. And terror as well, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And sometimes man come and go and you don't see them and they might not be so much. But it does, I don't know, man, it does like bother me that there's not like a proper official project. It was just so hard to make. And I'm not gonna say anything right now. I'm not gonna make any declaration like, but yeah, me and Bones has been having a couple conversations and whatever. But
I think people are kind of moving into good places, good spaces. Not just in life, not just in music, just in life. And I feel like it's definitely a good thing. So let's fast forward a little bit then, or not too far forward, but over the last couple of years, you've been kind of big into politics. Politicizing young people. You've done a lot of work with Rise UK.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How have you found it? And what's the pushback been from the people that, you know, you're trying to push this message to?
Well, yeah, I kind of naturally, I think it ties into like, it's not all politics. I think like politics and also just like social issues and social action. Because I think it started with talking about racism a lot. And then that led to talking about feminism a lot. And I started educating myself through conversations I'd have with people online and in life. And I think I just naturally became like a bit of a spokesperson for certain social issues.
I see you get called a social justice warrior bare times.
Yeah.
I see the
that's the name of the next project.
That's what it is, isn't it? When did that become it's so funny. We've had this conversation before though, like when did that become a bad thing? You're a warrior for social justice. Like who doesn't like social justice? It's actually nuts.
Yeah, so that's the name of the EP I've got coming, 4-track EP, and I can't tell you the name of the titles of the songs, but one of the two of the titles of those songs is just like, whoa, like rough, just for man to even call your song that. Okay, it's gonna be a bit of a shock factor, but yeah, social justice warrior. Yeah, people call me that all the time, whatever, but I think I became a voice for people who do, care about those issues, and also, sometimes people say, oh, you're wasting time. You're not. What difference is it making preaching to the converted? And I'm like, nah, that's bullshit. Because I have so many people who have sat with me, or like messaged me after big conversations and debates online or on my radio show about white privilege, for example. Yeah. And been like, bro, I didn't get it, but I get it now. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So I became this spokesperson and talking about social issues, challenging kind of discrimination and inequality. And before I get to the politics bit, the biggest kickback in that is like, some people are not ready. So that generation of rappers in the UK are over us, like Skinny Man's era and before. I've had that in the last week, I had a new one out of the blue, and in the last month, I had another legendary UK rapper from before Rodney P and all that. I'm gonna hot man's names up and all that, but like just from a debate online where I've challenged man, like on a public forum where you've said something mad misogynistic or you've come with a narrative that I think as men we need to challenge, and got in a. One of them was like, man was literally just defending R. Kelly. I was like, yo, you're defending the nonce. You know what I'm saying? And then now, man's in my inbox like, yo, it's beef. Where are you?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, bro, like, I'm just spoke of facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't like the fact, work on it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see it get hot a few times in the TR. I see it get hot.
Yeah, like, bro, like, so, like, legendary people I've respected for a long time, like, especially that kind of age group.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not ready, especially the misogyny thing, especially when it comes to women, because a lot of people, you know, in a black music culture, a lot of people are ready to talk about racism. It's something that's prominent in a lot of our lives. It's a, you know, like, I guess, black male dominated kind of space in a sense, and there's a lot of that conversation happening already.
Yeah.
But when you add talking about women into it, some men are not on it.
Yeah.
They get aggressive. Do you know what I'm saying? They get angry.
Yeah. I think it's I see it a lot, man. I feel like a lot of times it's this idea that you are your opinion, and whenever someone challenges your opinion, they're challenging you as a person.
Yeah.
So
that's perfect. Yeah.
And so you're not in a position to. You're not defending the position. You're defending yourself because you're so wrapped up, and it's ego. And I feel like part of the growth. Everyone I speak to who has grown, they're always in a position of, I might be wrong. Like, let me learn in it. Like, let me fall back. And I do that a lot. Like, I'll have a position. I'll throw it out there, and then like come back with it. Like, what if you? And then let me look at it from the other side. And, yeah.
And sometimes I get so passionate that it might seem like I'm not, but I pull back as well and realize I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot. What you just touched on, me think, this is a thing I've been talking about when it comes to racism, and it ties to all of these things, right? It's like, if you call someone a racist, I always say I don't call people racist, and then like Terror will bust up laughing and be like, "What are you mad?" I'll make you show me screenshots. I'm like, yeah, cool. In the moment, I might do that to wind someone up as well, even. But my point is, like, the person is not like. Let's stop calling people racist. Yeah.
Right, okay.
If we stop calling people racist, then they can stop getting defensive. Because as soon as you call someone racist, even the most fucking racist guy like Tommy Robinson, whatever, like he says he's not racist.
Yeah.
And he's got his explanation.
Yeah.
As soon as you call someone a racist, they go, you know, I've got black friends or whatever it be that they say. So it's like, remove that.
Right.
I don't care about calling you a racist. I'm not trying to label you, because they'll jump all these labels. I'll be like, nah. Once we start going, I'm not trying to label you. I'm just trying to label the behavior.
Right. Okay.
Then we can start going, okay, so like, that's what you just said made me think of. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's not the person, it's not who like you are. It's just a thought process that's been indoctrinated into you for a long time, for years. That's not your own fault. Like, I'm not like away from it either. Like, none of us are. To me, like, racism is in its strongest form is white supremacy, and we're all programmed with it worldwide, especially this side of the world. Yeah. And I'm in no way not programmed by it.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I ever can not be.
Right.
So if you're gonna, if that's what a racist means, then I'm racist as well. So if I'm going to someone and going, what you're doing is racist, I'm not calling you racist, because I am as well.
Yeah.
And but the only way for me to challenge that is like, I have to know that in my life today, that there is programming that I've learned from young that I've got to be aware of, and there's new things that I might not have noticed yet that are going to pop up. So I've got to be on guard and go, oh, wait, no, I don't. And especially being white, like, and the white privilege issue, white privilege is racism as well. Like, so I can say I'm already a beneficiary of racism every day. Yeah. So, like, in everything I do, and I can't stop that. And what white people get worried about is that, but it's not my fault. I'm like, cool, I'm not saying. I'm saying be aware of it. Be aware of it. Be considerate of it. Don't abuse it. Don't throw it in people's face.
I feel like that's the funniest part of especially white privilege, because obviously that was a big issue that we spoke about we're going back almost 2 years now on Facebook, which started off with, you know, a little war between my man and like my guy. But like the one of the biggest issues is it's the understanding of what people think white privilege is. Because a lot of times when people explain white privilege to me, I don't get white privilege because I'm like, that's what the thing you're angry against isn't even what it is. Like you've decided that white privilege means your life is perfect because you're white. No one's ever said that, but that's the argument you're making. And
the purpose, or at least the result of the argument, is just to shut down the conversation and to uphold it. So that's my problem. And I actually take away the word purpose and just say the outcome, because this is my other thing. Like intention doesn't matter. Intention, like you might not have meant to contribute to this thing at all, but you still did, because the outcome is still that. So, like, and that doesn't make you. Again, I'm not targeting the person. It's like I'm targeting the action, the result. Like, so racism, discrimination is the result. It's the action. Like, so it doesn't. I don't care what you meant to do when you did that. You know what I'm saying? When you put out your song or whatever, this is the result of it. And you look in the comments and fucking all of these fucking like St. George's Cross fucking.
There we go. There we go.
They keep it British 101. Like it's committed, like get foreigners out and all of that on your video. So it's like, and it's like around that time, like, you know, my man's thing or whatever. Then, you know, me and Terra have been talking about it since then. That it's like, yo, there has constantly, like, I was like, where's this gonna go? What's going to be the next kind of level of right wing, like white pride, nationalist rap music? And then in the campaign the other day, this rapper called Crow come out. I don't know if you saw this, but he came out with a Jeremy Corbyn diss song.
Right. Okay.
Featuring Nigel Farage. Like he had sampled Nigel Farage and put him on the hook, and it was going. Like, bro, and it was going viral. Like,
I can't deal, man.
It got shared, like ripped from his YouTube and put onto one of these big right-wing Facebook pages. It's blowing up. Like, and this guy, and I'm like, I can't remember how I found it. I tagged Terra in it. I tagged Bones in it. So me, Terra, and Bones, right?
Yeah.
Three of us start going at this guy.
The unholy trinity. Oh, damn.
Shout out Bones, like, make sure everyone go watch, you know, subscribe and watch the Idhan videos on YouTube.
Idhan! Oh yeah, I love his videos, man.
So I'm sharing this guy's video and I've tagged him. And remember the last time this happened, the guy wanted it. He did it on purpose to get that response. He was ready for argument, and that guy got shut down as well. And this is a difficult line because I don't want to shut people down all the time. I want to have the conversation. But I do want to shut them down in the end. At the end of it, we don't want that to continue. So this time with this guy Crow, I think his name was, people started commenting underneath. Bare people were tagging Danny Bones, going, "Yo, you gotta get him on the Idhan. This guy, give him his own episode." And then I think he went and looked at Idhan's YouTube and like checked out what that was about, checked out what we were about. Within 24 hours. Not only did he delete that song from the internet, deleted his entire career.
Raw.
Like that guy is gone.
Why? Do you know why he did that, or like?
He never responded. He never made us. We would have had the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that was in the middle of the election campaign just gone. So. Like I was baffled. I'm like, yo, because I did check his other videos. He had other music videos. And like, man was like trying to rip them for the Idhan thing and all of that. Some of them was gone by the time man went to make it was gone. Man managed to catch a couple of them. Like the rest are gone. This guy don't exist. Like we just ended like 24 hours.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's mad. And that, you know, I guess I can segue into the politics in that. Because that was the original question.
Nah, but it goes into it. So what do you think is how did you get into the space you're in now, and where do you stand like in the future? Obviously, the Labour Party's going mad right now.
I'm on team. I can't lie. Like, I just emailed the Labour Party to end my membership.
So you did do it. I saw you tweeting about you were gonna. So
yeah, well, I've emailed them, so they haven't replied yet. And I said I want my money back for 5 years, like 5 years of, because this is like fraud. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you're telling me, I'm paying for something that you are intentionally, that your staff are intentionally losing. Yeah. Like, to me, what that Labour Party revelation just brought is that in 2017, had that not been the case, we 100% would have won that election. Yeah, because there were 2,500 votes from winning. So like that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like so close.
That's crazy.
And it was great what we did at that time, because for the next 2 years that put the Labour Party and Corbyn's Labour Party in a position where they could really challenge the government, challenge the Conservatives, and stop them from doing a lot of fuckery. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's kind of fucked because we're still here now. I'm a bit lost, if I'm real honest. Like, so I was never about politics. I was always like one of the people that was like, fuck the government, they're all the same. I remember Skinny Man saying to me at a very young age, fuck the government, they're all the same. There's no one to vote for. And he said, apart from Jeremy Corbyn, I would vote for him, but they'll never let him run. Like, he would never get that far. And that was around that time. Like, he said that to me in like the year 2000, 2001.
That's crazy.
Because Corbyn's always been our local MP.
Yeah.
And then I found a picture from my flat, like growing up, like on my estate, and in my window, there's a like vote Labour thing that my mum's put up the poster, and it says Jeremy Corbyn on it. From 15 years before he became the leader of the Labour Party. So as soon as Corbyn became the leader party, or there was a chance he could, I was like, okay, I'm down for this. Like, so I joined the Labour Party so that I could vote for him to be the leader. I became a part of that movement. His son Tommy Corbyn heard at me around that time and booked man for a show. I started kind of networking with him, and then Josh Cole,
big up Josh,
who is like the founder of Rise Up UK. He reached out to me because he saw how much like I was talking about Corbyn. I started using my voice that I built through this kind of social activism to speak on Corbyn and say, look, this is something we can actually do something here to actually change all of our lives. Like, and he had noticed that, and he inboxed me and was like, yo, like, when the time comes, we got to do something. Do you think we could do something? Like, maybe we'll make a song. Do you think Skinny would be on it? Who can we get involved? And me and him had like a long conversation about that. Yes, I feel like that was kind of the birth of Rise Up. Yeah. Because when the snap election was announced from Theresa May, I was going to say Margaret Thatcher then.
Same thing. The spirit.
I just inboxed Josh straight away like, yo, I guess we got to press go, innit? And he was like, yeah, I'm setting the meeting up. Cool, we'll holler you later today. Like, and then we set up a meeting and we started Rise Up UK, and we did some mad stuff, like we had, like, not just Rise Up, of course, but we definitely were a big part of it. And then Grand for Corbyn and a number of other organisations and people behind that movement that's led to the like biggest youth vote we've had in our lives.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, what do you think is the future for that? Because I feel like so many young people were politicized, and I feel like now a lot of people kind of they do feel let down, they do feel cheated. So what do you think the future is, especially in where we are right now, and we're seeing how not having the correct leadership costs lives?
I think I saw an article, like I got a politics group on Facebook. With a lot of right-wing people in it and a lot of left as well, and there's a lot going on in there. Someone shared an article like saying, look, we can't leave the Labour Party now. This is a time, because it's just been proven that the right-wing side of the Labour Party threw this election away, and we kind of knew that anyway, but it's like now it's there proven. Like, we can't leave now. We've just proven it. Yeah. So we've got to get behind Corbyn's movement more than ever. and I kind of got the sentiment of what they're saying, but I'm like, I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. And this Keir Starmer, who's just become the new leader,
Yeah.
like, I can't fuck with him. He's my local MP now, by the way, because I moved across the border to Camden.
See.
So he's my local MP.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with him. He's saying all the right things to a degree. He's saying he wants to keep it on Corbyn's policies because actually Corbyn's policies are that popular.
Yeah.
As much as they make you to believe they weren't.
Yeah.
So it's like he has to say that or he loses the voter base that he's already losing.
Yeah.
But you know, like there's a lot of things trying to throw him under the bus, and I have to understand, you know, they did that to Corbyn, they want to do it to everyone. But I've kind of done it a bit with him too, just because I'm like, and I'm realizing I'm realizing I'm part of the problem now because it is gonna, you know, at some point there is gonna be an election with him running, and we probably are gonna want. I'm gonna vote for him if that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? I'll the Tories, but it's just fucked. Like he was you know, he was the head of the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, a while ago. Yeah, so that was my first problem with him, where I was just like, nah. In order to be like, the CPS is like one of the most fucked up organizations
100%.
in the country. Like, so in order for you to be that person, the head of that organization, where you're gonna have to, you know, they decide how, you know, what crimes get charged and which ones don't when crimes are reported. So that person has to sit there and go, you know, I'll go to one example from something that I study a lot. If we look at from my studying of feminism and misogyny, right? If you look at rape statistics, 96% of reported rape incidents don't ever see a courtroom. Yeah. So 4%. So it's the CPS's decision.
That's crazy.
So 4%. His guys only put in 4%, to the point there's like women's rights movements that are going at them saying that they basically legalized rape. They've decriminalized it. Like this article called "The Decriminalization of Rape," which is fucking deep. Like, and then let's not forget that only 10% of rape victims even report themselves to the police. So like, it's insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a crime that just doesn't get charged. Yeah. So that's your guys. Like, that's you. That's him. I can't fuck with you if that's your background. To me, it's just like, you know, like Corbyn was someone I could believe in. For his background, from the fact I knew him like from so young in my area. Yeah. To the fact that you can look at all of his voting record and all of his work. You know, I did work with the Stop the War Coalition in 2003. That's another part of my career. I was putting out music with them and performing at all their events. And he was on that stage talking there. He was the head of the Stop the War Coalition at that.
I remember that as well, man. Did you sign that Jam?
We might have. We done something. We
definitely
done,
a South one.
We used to do Trafalgar Square, like 50,000 people in the middle of the thing, and then we did the Ocean. What was it called in Hackney? There was a big venue in Hackney called Ocean or Ocean Room or something. It was massive. We did a big thing there. Might have done Jam as well.
Yeah, I remember definitely seeing like the stickers up everywhere as well, man.
Yeah.
I remember those days. So what's the future?
I don't see how. Like, I'm back to like, and it's mad because while I was pushing Corbyn, there were still people who didn't realize that he's one we can believe in, who were still like, no, they're all the same. And I was there fighting with them, going, listen, you don't get it. That's our old narrative. They're not all the same.
Yeah.
And now I kind of feel like they're all the same again.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you on that.
It's unintentionally, yeah. Obviously to cover the trim that I ain't had for weeks, but like, it's still Corbyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still rocking this because like, before the thing came out with all them documents, I said to myself, well, Corbyn's still a member of the Labour Party. He's still an MP. Yeah. He's still actually going to be in frontline politics, and he's still going to be pushing what he's pushing. Yeah. So I'm still just going to follow him. And maybe I should still do that, but I just don't know if I probably still will do that. Like, if he's like, right, this is what we need to do, I'm probably still going to do that to a degree. But I'm not. I just I don't can't be a member of this Labour Party thing no more. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it was always fucking Labour Party anyway, but it was Corbyn thing.
Yeah. We ride for who we ride for, innit, man? It's never the party.
But on a like politicizing youth thing, I think there's still work to be done. Like I would always continue to in whatever platforms I do. Yeah, I have just I do obviously conversation platforms like this, and they're always around topics and stuff like that, which I'm gonna relaunch at the moment. And I've always wanted to do a show or a TV show or some kind of platform that brings young people in a room with influencers and politicians all together and talk about politics and how things happen and learning things. It's not necessarily going to be like, oh, we're going to get different person in party or into power or whatever, but it's just a learning thing because I realized I didn't know enough early on in that kind of in that period, so I wanted to know more, and I learned a lot over these times, So I think there's work to be done just in politicizing young people, whether it's in community action and things we do in our own communities, and it's nothing to do with the government or it's to do. We do have to keep holding the government account for them what they do, their failures.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I definitely feel you on that, man. So moving off taking it full circle, back to the music, back to you as a journalist. You're now an influencer. What's the future, man? What you got planned? after we come out of lockdown, what you got planned?
You know what? This is the maddest thing. Just before lockdown, I made a decision. Like, I ain't never had a 9 to 5 in my life. Like, I never done, not like a normal 9 to 5 job, right? Yeah. I always worked. I had like in music as a career, and it's paid my bills at times and not at others. And when it didn't, I said to myself, like I've seen you do a lot as well. I said, oh, cool, my actual music's not paying my bills. What am I gonna do? Cool, I'll learn how to shoot videos, and I'll have a business service doing this. For the last few years, I've run Underworld Connect with Kingpin. Yep. As a business, that's something he built, like just on the street, flyering, building a flyer pack, absolutely smashed it, and he built up something that was a viable business. I came on board with him at a point just a bit after when he'd gone, right, let's make this a limited company and do it all proper. So I came on board as a director of that company shortly after that. And I've basically run that company. That kind of I ran it full time for a while, maybe a year. Like that was my job. Like so, that's my 9 to 5. But it's always been in the music industry, right? So, I think just I put my CV together, like actually to go like if I was to apply for a job, right, with all my music roles in the industry, which are Rise Up Limited. I think maybe because the Rise Up thing inspired me a bit, because this time round, the first time I did Rise Up for nothing, this time round we had a bit of funding where I got a wage for it, and I did run Rise Up full time during that campaign. Like that's all I did, and it was a round the clock job, and I got a wage for it, and I sat there and I thought, yeah, that's a nice wage, that's a nice stability for those couple months, and I thought, should I just bite the bullet and just go for an industry job, like at this stage in my life? So I put my CV together and I thought, right, yeah, it's banging. Like I can walk into, I don't know, wherever, Spotify, and go just get a job. Or even, at one point, I was looking at the Labour Party or a political thing, and depending who became the leader, there was something on the table for that to happen, but because of who became the leader, it's not that now. So I was kind of like, I started flinging out a few job applications and that, and now I'm like, this thing just shut that off. So this thing's like, yo. So I'm like, maybe I don't know if it's a sign, but maybe that's not what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think you know what? It's a blessing and a curse, man. I feel like this has showed a lot of people how fragile some of what they do business wise can be, and it's kind of allowing you to giving you the opportunity now where you might have some downtime to really focus on, okay, if this happens again, what position do I want to be in next time? I've been saying that I put out a video on my channel about jobs you can do from home, and I've seen a lot of my revenue streams just disappear because yes, I can do it from home, but the people I'm doing them for need to be out for them to work.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's what it is for Underworld Connect, because I basically, you know, a lot of the time I run Underworld Connect from home.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, you know, we got a street team that are out there, like, flyering, and like, I put together a campaign, like, days before this, of like 60 events we was going to do in 1 month for a music group, right? For the forum. And usually it wouldn't be that much in 1 month. Like, there were just multiple events on one night. And they hit me up like, yo, can you put a schedule together for me? What can you, you know, what events can you hit within this time period to this event? And I had 60, I think it was 61. I was like, here you go. Let me know how much of that you want to actually budget. Just say it. And we got like a bunch of people that go out and hit the actual road and do the flyering. But then, like, boom, suddenly all the events are closed. So for us, that business is kind of like on hold for a minute. And obviously we put out music through that business too. But Damage came out on that as a label as well. Yeah. So I'm thinking just been sitting, talking, and kind of like, okay, well, this does give us a bit of time to think about the other side of the business. Yeah. And let's really focus on putting out music, you know. Yeah. So, you know, I don't know if I should announce anyone else's stuff and all that, but yeah, Kingpin's got a little something that's gonna drop off. You're on as well, and I've got.
You might see me make a little appearance. I've been waiting for that, man.
So we'll focus on that, but we've also been talking about like just, you know, like artist development and finding some young artists where we will find some new talent and put them out. I think there has to, like, at some point, I think that's what our focus will be. So we'll probably put a few of our things out as well, and get the ball rolling in that department. But I really want to songwrite and put out some other artists and maybe help write their songs and produce.
Do you know what, man? There's a lot of stuff that we didn't really touch on in this interview. We're kind of out of time, but like, I'm gonna once lockdown is over, we're doing this again, proper studio setup, because there's a lot of stuff I wanted to touch on as well within like the songwriting. But yeah, I don't want it. It's too much right now. But it's I think it's because me and you, our careers run parallel. Yeah, so 100%. You're always like, you're my canary, man. I'm always like, rah, what's Nova doing? Nova's doing good. All right, cool. We're still, you know what I mean? We're still running. And you know what? Sure. I remember, a conversation we had in Brick Lane. I was doing a show. Who was it? I think it was like me. It was me, Amos, Terra, and Terry. And you were there as well. I can't remember who you were. I think Words was there as well. And I remember you saying, yeah, man, when I touch 30, I'm done, man. When I hit 30, I'm out. And I remember thinking, yeah, same, man. When I hit 30, man, like, I don't really want to be doing music when I'm 30. Every year
I was thinking about that yesterday on a thing on other things in life as well. Like, we put things to times, innit? Yeah. So now it's like 40. I'm not saying that about music no more, because I'm moving on to something else. Like, I'm more like, yo, by the time I hit 40, I'm gonna have my mortgage sorted, So like, that's might be my thing the last few years. So it's been like, all right, let me work on my credit, this kind of thing, So I'm like, I want to like settle down and start a family again by the time I hit 40. And if I don't, by the time 40 comes, I'll say 45. So it's like,
switch it up, man. Be flexible.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
I think it's funny though, because I feel like a lot of times we didn't realize how young we were. Yeah. And I see young people now. I'm just like, man, you're young, man. You don't even know. You don't know how young you are right now. So just chill. Because a lot of time we want things right now. We want it now. And we're rushing. And it's like, nah, man, you got time. Like, all you got to do, I tell my young people, all you got to do is stay alive and you'll win. Like, if you can stay alive, you'll have time. So don't do nothing stupid. And just take your time, man. Have patience, man. Have patience. But, speaking of time and patience, I want to thank you for your time.
Love. Well,
I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you talking about everything you've done, and I appreciate what you just do, man. I feel like you take a lot. You take a lot on. There's a lot of positions that some people are afraid to say in that space. Obviously, we get judged very harshly. I know it's the internet age. Everyone has an opinion, but at the same time, your opinion is attached to you as a person. There's a lot of people saying things behind the screen, not showing their face or their name or all that kind of stuff, and they're being anonymous with it. But you're coming out and putting your name to statements that really mean something, and it's appreciated, man.
Love, brother. Thank you, man.
Nothing but love. But yeah, man, we're gonna I'm gonna play you out. What song did I play last time? Oh yeah, I think we're gonna do something. But yeah, man, enough love. Thank you to everyone locked in. Keep sharing these videos. Keep hitting me up and let me know like who else you want to put on as well. We can make that happen. But for now, it's peace, man.
I already lost it all. I've been hanging in the balance and for sure it's been a challenge.